Something strange has been happening behind the scenes of The Summer I Turned Pretty. What started as a heartwarming teen romance became one of the most unsettling fandom meltdowns in recent memory. It's a story that goes far beyond teenage love triangles, one that exposes how obsession, fame, and online culture can turn even the sweetest summer dream into a nightmare. When The Summer I Turned Pretty first dropped on Prime Video, it wasn't just a show, it was an explosion. Fans didn't simply watch it. They built identities around it. Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah became a battle line across the internet. Social media bios, video essays, and endless debates filled TikTok and Reddit. What was supposed to be a comforting story about love and growing up became an emotional battlefield. Within days, The Summer I Turned Pretty wasn't just a show anymore, it was a movement. But here's the twist no one saw coming. That passion didn't stay harmless. It grew darker, heavier, and frighteningly personal. Fans began treating the actors, Lola Tung, Christopher Briney, and Gavin Casalegno, as if they were the characters themselves. The boundaries between fiction and reality blurred. Harmless fan theories turned into harassment campaigns. And soon, the situation got so bad that even Amazon Prime had to step in. Yes, you heard that right. Amazon, a billion-dollar streaming platform, issued a public warning to its own viewers. They declared zero tolerance for bullying or harassment toward the cast, and even hinted that fan accounts could be banned if the behavior continued. It was an unprecedented move, and it proved that something behind the charming beaches of Cousins Beach had gone terribly wrong. Behind the camera, the pressure was suffocating. The cast, all in their early 20s, suddenly had millions dissecting their every move. Every Instagram post became a clue, every comment a headline. The fans who once adored them now demanded loyalty to specific ships. If an actor didn't publicly support one fictional couple over another, they were attacked. Messages flooded in, not from trolls, but from people who called themselves true fans. The result? A fandom so toxic that promoting the show became emotionally exhausting for the cast. And then came the moment that broke the illusion completely. In late 2024, Gavin Casalegno got married, a happy milestone by any standard. But what the internet noticed wasn't the ceremony or the bride or even the photos. What they noticed was who wasn't there. None of his Summer I Turned Pretty castmates showed up. Not Lola, not Christopher, not even Jenny Han, the show's creator. No congratulations, no public messages, not even a repost. Silence. At first, people assumed it was coincidence. Scheduling issues, perhaps. But when the silence stretched on, it started to look deliberate. Fans flooded comment sections with questions. Why didn't anyone go? Was there drama? Was something broken within the cast that no one was willing to admit? And soon people began connecting dots. Old interviews resurfaced, the early ones where the cast laughed effortlessly, finishing each other's sentences. They compared them to recent appearances, where smiles seemed strained and chemistry felt forced. Once you noticed it, it was impossible to unsee. What used to be warm camaraderie now looked like polite professionalism. The magic that made the show special, that sense of real friendship, seemed to have vanished. Social media told the same story. In the early days, the cast constantly interacted online. Birthday wishes, behind-the-scenes photos, funny comments, it all made the fandom believe they were a real family. But gradually, those interactions disappeared. No more comments, no shared posts, no mentions of each other's achievements. Fans even tracked unfollows and refollows like detectives chasing a mystery. The distance was undeniable. By the time Season 3 premiered, viewers couldn't help but watch with new eyes. Every glance between characters felt loaded, every scene analyzed for hidden tension. Some fans swore they could sense a change in energy, that the warmth was gone. Whether that was true or just projection didn't matter. The illusion had cracked. The show no longer felt like the comforting escape it once was. It felt like watching the unraveling of something real. But this story isn't just about one cast. It's about what modern fandom has become. The Summer I Turned Pretty phenomenon exposed how parasocial relationships, those one-sided emotional bonds between fans and celebrities, can turn dangerous. Fans who loved the characters so deeply began to believe they owned them. They felt entitled to judge the actors' personal choices, their friendships, their relationships. The line between admiration and control vanished. For Amazon, the scandal was more than a PR nightmare. It became a case study in how entertainment companies handle fan culture in the social media age. Major studios are now rethinking how much access they give fans to their stars. Talent agencies are hiring specialists to help young actors deal with online scrutiny. Because if this could happen over a gentle beach romance, it can happen anywhere. At its core, The Summer I Turned. Pretty's downfall isn't about shipping wars or who skipped whose wedding. It's about how we as audiences consume art. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that actors are real people, not avatars for our fantasies. We demand authenticity while punishing honesty. We crave connection but invade privacy. And in doing so, we push the very people who create the stories we love to the breaking point. Jenny Han's original story was about love, growing up and discovering who you are. But the show's real legacy turned into something much heavier, a warning. It showed how quickly passion can turn into possession, how easily admiration becomes entitlement. What began as a sweet coming-of-age series evolved into a reflection of how fan culture, amplified by social media, can spiral out of control. As for the cast, they've learned some painful lessons about fame. They've seen how affection can mutate into obsession, and how privacy becomes impossible once millions feel invested in your every move. Whether they'll work together again, no one knows. What's certain is that their experience will shape how future young actors handle sudden fame. And maybe that's the takeaway. We can love stories deeply, but we have to let the people behind them be human. The beach, the romance, the nostalgia, those things will always belong to the fiction. But the actors? They deserve peace, privacy, and space to live their lives without being turned into characters in someone else's fantasy. The Summer I Turned Pretty gave us a story about first love, but the chaos it unleashed revealed a darker truth about modern fandom, that sometimes loving something too much can destroy it. And maybe the real lesson isn't about choosing between Conrad or Jeremiah. It's about learning when to step back and remember that even the brightest summer stories can cast long shadows when the line between fantasy and reality disappears.